Everyone's talking, but only one station's giving the insight.
Inspiration.
92.3 FM.
Money Talks.
Money Talks.
Money Talks. Money Talks.
Hi, my name is Ibukun Oyedeji, President CFA Society Nigeria. Join me and a host of other financial industry practitioners every Monday at 4:30 p.m. right here on Inspiration 92.3 FM for Money Talks with CFA Society Nigeria.
Money Talks, airing on this station every Monday at 4:30 p.m. Money Talks with CFA Society Nigeria. Let's talk about money.
If you've made a decision to aim for a long-term and successful finance career, taking the Chartered Financial Analyst CFA exam and studying the curriculum is an excellent way to ensure you have a strong knowledge base and top-notch skills. Are you ready to take the bold step to invest in yourself? CFA Society Nigeria is at your disposal, promoting the highest standards of investment practice in Nigeria. As an affiliate of CFA Institute, CFA Society Nigeria seeks to promote the highest standards of investment practice in Nigeria and to provide a vibrant community in which its members and other key players in the investment industry can interact and grow. When you have the CFA charter, you're globally recognized. Take advantage today by writing the CFA exam and joining us at CFA Society Nigeria. For more information, visit us at cfasocietyng.org. CFA Society Nigeria, making finance a force for good.
Money Talks.
Money Talks.
Money Talks. Money Talks. Money Talks with CFA Society Nigeria. Let's talk about money.
Welcome to Money Talks. This Monday is the 9th of October 2023. Smart Uzechi is my name. Welcome along. Money Talks is brought to you by CFA Society Nigeria and is a financial literacy program to help you to navigate your way in the financial world. Today, I can literally say that we have the Bank of Industry in our midst tonight, and that's because Oluwaseun Tubi, CFA, Oluwaseun, whom we refer to as Tubi, who refers to as Seun Tubi, is the program coordinator for the Bank of Industry's Startup and Innovation Program. That should excite you already. He is also the Chief Information Security Officer for the Bank of Industry. He has over 20 years of professional working experience, but prior to joining the Bank of Industry, he worked in management consulting, banking and technology sectors. Some of his previous roles were Senior Consultant at Accenture, General Manager at Chams, Senior Project Manager at Stanbic IBTC Bank, among others. He has a BSc degree in Computer Science and Engineering at Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, an MSc Finance at University of London, and Executive MBA at the Quantic School of Business and Technology, United States of America. He's currently undergoing a doctorate degree program at the Holt International Business School. He's a CFA charter holder and has other tech and cybersecurity credentials. And I'm sure he's worthy applause. Seun Tubi is with us on the program. Seun, good evening to you, and thank you so much for your time.
Good evening, Captain Smart. Thank you very much for the introduction.
Yeah, absolutely.
And good evening to our listeners all over the world.
Yeah, if you're a listener there, I say again to you, the Bank of Industry is here with us. So get ready to participate. The number to call 0700-923-923-923. That's 0700-923-923. 923. You can also send us a message on WhatsApp 0817 313 6193. That's 0817 313 6193. You can call us on that number, ask your questions, seek for clarifications, and of course, if you have anything to do with the Bank of Industry, the main man is in the studio here. You can ask him questions. Our point of conversation this evening is how development financial institutions can support small and medium enterprises. How development financial institutions can support small and medium scale enterprises. That's what we're talking about here this evening. Stay tuned. We'll get right into it after this short break.
We are professionals. We are impact driven. We are CFA Society Nigeria, a member society of the CFA Institute Global Network of Societies. Our mission is to promote the highest standard of practice in the Nigerian financial services industry and provide a vibrant community for our members. The CFA Charter signals the holders' commitment to professional excellence. As thought leaders, we collaborate with stakeholders to ensure adherence to ethical standards, better education for professionals, and to build market integrity. We are the leading voice for advocacy in the finance and investment industry in Nigeria. To partner with us or become our member, visit us at cfasocietynG.org for more details. CFA Society Nigeria, making finance a force for good.
Money Talks.
Money Talk.
Money Talks. Money Talks. Money Talks with CFA Society Nigeria. Let's talk about money.
That's right. Oluwaseun Tubi, the program coordinator for the Bank of Industry's Startup and Innovation Program. He's also the Chief Information Security Officer for the Bank of Industry. He's my guest this evening on Money Talks, and we're talking about how development financial institutions like his can support small and medium enterprises. So, Sean, we've been talking about development financial institutions, for short DFIs, and what their roles are in Nigeria. Can you just tell us who DFIs are and what their roles specifically are, especially in this our nation, Nigeria?
Okay. All right, thank you very much, Captain Smart, and good evening once again. DFIs are financial institutions that provide strategic support to specific sectors. You know, they are not the regular banks. What they do is that they collaborate with other stakeholders within the financial market to ensure that specific sectors grow. For BOI, specifically, we are DFI, we're leading DFI in Nigeria, and what we do is that we support large enterprises, medium and small scale enterprises, to either start new projects, expand existing projects, modernize, the project, the business they have, or even rehabilitate existing ones. What DFIs typically do is that they provide long-term financing that regular banks really do not do. And they also do that, they make sure that fund comes at a very, cheaper rate, attractive, interest rate. They support different sectors. BOI, for instance, we support oil and gas, manufacturing, mining, agriculture, technology, creative sector in particular. We also have specific focus for the women-led businesses. Okay, BOI is also an implementing agency for a lot of the federal government initiatives, targeted at MSMEs, to help them to grow and things like that. Over the last since 2015, for instance, the Bank of Industry has given out about 1.7 trillion naira to about 4.4 million different businesses. We've also gone to the international capital market to raise funding to ensure that the to ensure that the nation as a whole has access to be able to with funding to be able to support SMEs in general. There's so many funds we support. Just to make, because of time, I can just mention a few of them. We work with the Nigerian Content Development Board. That's the NCI, to deploy their $300 million fund for the oil and gas sector. We also provide agricultural value financing chain. And what that does is that it basically connects manufacturing with farmers. So farmers are able to guarantee that when they produce their output, there are manufacturing companies to take them up. Manufacturing companies, on the other hand, I also guarantee that they have raw materials to support their industry. We have so many other programs that we support. There's a TIES program that is for entrepreneurs, people that just graduate from university. We have the graduate entrepreneurship program and so many other funds that the Bank of Industry support. In a nutshell, what DFI like BOI do is to provide strategic support, both finance as well as business support services to MSMEs to ensure that they grow and they contribute their quota to national development.
Seun, I want to be sure that the listener there understands who we have in the studio. You are saying that DFIs, like your Bank of Industry, they support MSMEs, like small and medium-scale enterprises?
Correct.
To give them loans. Let's call it the name that it is. Because when you say loans, you give loans to small businesses.
Yes, correct.
To support them, especially startups.
Yes,
right?
Correct.
And you are the program coordinator for Bank of Industry for startups.
Yes, we have a special program for startups.
I just want the people listening to know who you are. That's why I'm asking you these questions, right?
All right.
So, listener, if I were you, by now I would start dialing the number. So I know you have questions to ask him. So, Seun, let's move to the next question. The term, when you say SMEs, it's used to describe small businesses. But what exactly, because so many persons still don't understand it, what exactly is an SME? Does this definition include people like the artisans you see on the road? They're like hawkers, butchers, the vulcanizer, and all of that. Can you just help us to bring it down?
Okay, great. So MSMEs typically, they are the engine of growth in any nation throughout the world. And that is that's a study that has been done over and over by the World Bank. But specifically for Nigeria, and according to SMEDAN, the agency that directly oversees the development of SMEs in Nigeria, they said that in their last survey of 2022 that there are about 39.7 million MSMEs in Nigeria. Now, interestingly, 3.1% of that number are just SMEs, small and medium scale, while a larger portion, 96.9%, fall within the micro SMEs. Now, they've even gone further to say they cannot see another category called nano. And I guess that is where the likes of the artisans, the hawkers, and all of them will fall into. So nanos are typically those that generate total revenue of about 3 million naira a year. So when you break it down on a monthly basis, that's about 250,000. So it's a small amount of money. But I think we can say, with some certainty that MSMEs, broadly comprised of, both the large or both the small, the medium size, as well as the categories you mentioned, the hawkers, artisans, and the butchers, and etc.
Okay, if you put like 10 of those business people in this room right now, and you ask them one after the other, what is your biggest challenge? I'm sure 9 out of 10 of them, if not 10 of them, will tell you access to finance. We don't have money to do business. When we go to these money deposit banks, they tell us to go and bring our grandfather and our great grandmother from the village, and we can't bring them. They have passed. So, can you tell us the ways in which these DFIs, like yours, Bank of Industry, how they helping these institutions to bridge this finance gap?
Okay, all right, great. So, DFIs, like I mentioned earlier, they provide strategic support. One other thing is worth mentioning is that while the regular commercial banks will look at profit, they are motivated by profit. DFIs are motivated by impact. Yes, of course, they also must survive, so they must ensure that they break even to be able to keep body and soul together. But they are more motivated by impact. So for a DFI like BOI, we support MSMEs, by providing long-term facilities. So long-term can be as much as 5 years, 6 years. We've even had instances where we've done a lot more than that. Okay. And secondly, we do low interest rate. A lot of our loans are single digit.
Wow.
I don't know whether anybody can provide that
single digit. At this rate of inflation?
Oh yes.
Wow.
We do that. Then thirdly, there are a lot of programs that the Bank of Industry, working with other institutions, look at how can we de-risk the SME space. Because like you mentioned, when a a business owner approaches a bank, the bank will say, go and bring your collateral, go and bring this, go and bring that. A lot of these businesses don't have substance, but they need access to finance. You know? And the truth again is that if you're also not careful, if you just give out money because you are trusted, you want to help them, you know, you end up giving money and then you have a lot of bad loans. So there's an issue of how do we de-risk them? So there are a whole number of programs that the Bank of Industry is working on to ensure that we de-risk, you know, and make it easier for these MSMEs to have access to money, and then they repay back the loan. And then lastly, we also do a lot of capacity building, because a lot of them, when they take the money, you know, they may not have that full knowledge and understanding of what it takes to run or to even, you know, survive. You know, of course, we're going through a very tough time in Nigeria, you know. So we do a lot of capacity building, business training, you know, working with a lot of our partners, EDC all over the country, to ensure that they have what it takes to be able to run their businesses once they have access to the finance.
In case you just joined us now, is Money Talks on 92.3 Inspiration FM Smart. Uzechi is my name, and Oluwaseun Tubi is my guest on the program this evening. Oluwaseun Tubi, in case you're just coming in now, is the Chief of Information Security Officer for the Bank of Industry. He's also the coordinator for the Bank of Industry's Startup and Innovation Program. And this evening, we're talking about how development financial institutions can support small and medium enterprises. You can call on the telephone if you have questions or you have clarifications to make. Tubi is here to answer. 0700 923 923 923. Especially if you are an operator of a small business or you're looking to get loans to do small business, you can ask questions on this program. 0700 923 923 923, or you can send us a message on WhatsApp 0817 313 6193. I was jocularly telling Seun that he should do giveaway since he's here. I was telling you like that. Well, you can call on the telephone, you never can tell. We expect your call. So, Seun, as the calls are coming in, let me ask you, you've already talked about how you can advance loans to these people who are trying to start up businesses, single digit interest. That one interests me a lot over a long period of time. Okay, let's go to the phone lines. Hello, good evening to you.
Good evening, Pastor Smart.
Thank you so much for calling. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
My name is Badia Ladi. I'm calling from Ojo.
Okay, go ahead quickly, so I have 30 seconds.
Please, I went through a training program at FIO, Techno Entrepreneurship Training Program. I did mechanized garri production and food juice production. How do I go about sourcing for funds through the Bank of Industry?
Okay. All right. Just keep listening. I'm sure Tubi is going to provide the answer to that particular one. So in addition to that, Seun, we'd like to ask you, apart from provision of capital that you are engaged in, are there other things? You have talked about training now. So you have capital, you have training. Are there other things that the Bank of Industry actually does to help these people that come to take loans from you?
Okay. Thank you once again. Now, we have partnership with a group of, companies called a group of, firms, advisory firms called Business Developer Service Providers. What this initiative is about is essentially to help MSMEs to get ready to access finance. When a large company like Nigerian Breweries want to access finance, they have all the expertise in-house to be able to package their proposal and take it to the bank. And in fact, it's the bank that will be running after them to come and take it. But for an SME, it's different. When an SME approaches a bank, most likely, the data or the information they have is raw. It needs to be processed, it needs to be packaged in a way. So we work with a number of BDSPs. We've licensed them, about 300 of them all over the country. Now, what you do is that once an MSME needs access to finance, they approach one of these BDSP, and the BDSP is able to walk them through the process to get ready to access finance. Number one, that does two things. Number one, it helps also de-risk. Number two, it's also a form of capacity building for the MSME. So they're able to help them to do their cash flow, they're able to help them to do their feasibility studies, the projection, and get everything, and BOI pays for that. So that's apart from the loan or money that MSME have access to. We're also able to support and help in terms of capacity building through our BDSPs. We work with NYC to ensure that people who are doing NYC, they are ready to run business, to access money, and to be able to succeed at that point. So we offer a lot of training for them. We also have a program with LBS, Lagos Business School, the Pan Atlantic University, where we run series of, we call it Entrepreneurship and Business Accelerator Program, where they, all over the country, across the 6 geopolitical zones, where they run different programs looking at MSMEs, how can they get ready, how can they take their business to the next level. So for businesses who have come to us to access money, they can tap into some of these programs, and they can be able to take their business from one level to another level. And finally, we sponsor a lot of these MSMEs to fairs, both international fair, African trade fair, and all of this stuff. So there's a whole lot of things that we do apart from providing money to SMEs.
So break it down a little further, because what I'm asking this so that the listener can just glean these things you are saying. When you talk about support, you have mentioned quite a number of them. Maybe you can tell us more. Those kind of supports that DFIs like your Bank of Industry can provide for these entrepreneurs who are involved, particularly in startups, because that's where most of the problems are. People who want to start up businesses, they tell you they go to the banks, the money deposit banks, they can't get money because the banks are telling them, we want to see what you have done over 6 months, over 3 years. So who supports startups? So let's know what Bank of Industry does, particularly for those who are engaged in startups.
Good. Now, let me focus a little bit on technology-based startups. Now, the Bank of Industry in the last 5-6 years, we've taken an interest in that space. We have funded the setup of technology hubs, innovation hubs, all across the country. There are about 15 of them in about 9 states across the country. Now, what that does is to help grow the ecosystem of startups and innovators. So you go to Kaduna, you go to Kano, you go to Bauchi, you go to Rivers, you go to Oshun, you go so many of these places. I
hope there's one in Lagos.
Oh yes, in fact there are quite a number. There are about 2 or 3 in Lagos.
Okay.
So what we do, those hubs do is basically to help build an ecosystem. So a young person who has an idea to start up a business can walk into that place, meet with like-minded people, begin to ideate, begin to build their business, and then we have partners that we work with who are able to run them through the series of programs to help them to develop and grow and take that idea from ground zero to something that they can then present to a financial a fund, a bank or BOI, where they can then have access to money. In addition to that, we also have set aside some money for some of them. For instance, the one we do with the University of Lagos, people who want to start, who have startup ideas, they can have access to as much as 2 million naira, to start up their businesses. That's a program we currently run with the University of Lagos. Now, in addition to that, we've also invested in quite a number of funds that are focused on equity. There's an Alithia fund, that focus on supporting female-led businesses in Nigeria. The Bank of Industry invested about $10 million into that fund. There's also the MTech fund. That's about $75 million that the Bank of Industry has also invested about $18 million too. And the focus of that is to invest in venture capitalists who will then be able to identify startups and also invest in them. We also work with the angel community, for instance, the Lagos Angel Network, the number of collaborations we do with them to try and see how they can grow, the community of angel network. Because, angels, what they typically do is that they identify an idea, they put their own money into it, when nobody believe in that idea, with the intention that after a year or 2 years, that idea then begin to bring some fruit. So we work with that community to expand, to build capacity, to ensure that they are thriving and able to support a lot of startups.
Do you have a question? You can call 0700-923-923-923. Are you a startup? Are you looking to get loan to start up your business, you might just want to ask that question. 0700-923-923-923, or you can send us a message on WhatsApp 0817-313-6193. I will appreciate if you can do that now that Oluwaseun Tubi is here in the studio, so you don't start calling when he has gone or sending me messages when he has left like you always do, because I won't be able to answer at that time. So Oluwaseun, can a micro business owner approach the Bank of Industry or other DFIs directly without going to any consultant? Can they do that directly? Hello, good evening. Hello.
Good evening, Captain Smart.
Thank you so much for calling. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
I'm James. I'm calling you from Magudu.
Okay, very quickly. Let's have your contribution. Quickly.
Okay, my first question, by the way, a big thank you to your guests for breaking things down. My first question is, at what stage of a business can one access all of these funds you've talked about? So is it at the start stage? Is it at the stability stage? Is it at the scale stage? And how easily accessible in terms of processing these funds will it be for MSMEs, for instance? Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much. I think you should start to answer because our time is running out very fast. Yes.
Okay, so I will take your last question together with this question. So the simple answer to your question is that yes, an entrepreneur can approach BY directly to access fund. We have 31 state offices across the country. They can just walk into any of those office to be able to access our funding. They can also go to our website www.by.ng and they can initiate an application there. The gentleman that called earlier asked that he's done a training and he would like to know how to get loan from BOA. Like I mentioned, you can walk into any of our offices. In Lagos, we have...
Okay, we just have another caller. Hello, good evening to you.
Good evening, Captain Smart, and good evening, Sean.
Thank you so much for calling. Yeah, your name and where you're calling from?
Shoma, I'm calling from Lekki.
Okay, Shoma, quickly, let's have your contribution.
So I wanted to ask, how does one start the whole process? I think he was trying to process.
Yeah.
To reply or respond to that. So that was my question.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for the question. I think you can whenever you think you are ready to take a loan, you can approach. We've had instances where people have been in a paid employment, they've gained skill and experience over the years, and they want to then set up a similar thing, or maybe take it to the next level. And they've approached us, and when we look at their credentials, the fact that they have that experience, we don't consider it. So you can approach us when you're starting. You can approach us when you need to do expansion, where you need to diversify. At any stage that you feel comfortable, you can approach the Bank of Industry. So
individuals can go to Bank of Industry. When they hear Bank of Industry, like mighty Bank of Industry.
They can also go to our website.
That's very important. Okay, so that's the answer.
Yes.
Very quickly now, can you tell us if there are special financing programs that these entrepreneurs that you talked about now should be looking forward to from the Bank of Industry?
Okay, quickly, I think it's important for me to mention the IDICE program. Investment in digital and creative enterprises. This was a program launched by the government a couple of months ago. It's about $18 million program, equity to support startups.
Wow.
So we have investors like African Development Bank, Islamic Development Bank, the Development Bank for France, as well as the federal government of Nigeria. Now, what that money will go into is to fund or to provide equity for startups, to also build infrastructure that will support startups, as well as do capacity building, training. So it's a whole
lot. Okay. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, speak to us quickly. I have to speak up. We are almost out of time. What's your name, sir? Where are you calling us from?
Yeah, my name is Joseph, calling from you.
Okay, let's have your question quickly, sir. Hello, Joseph? Hello? Okay, go ahead, sir.
Okay, so that program targets young people between the age of 18 and 40, whether people who are in tertiary institutions or even researchers, startups, MSMEs, etc. So it's a all-encompassing program where the final stages of putting the structures in place and any main format of the advertisement as to how people can apply for that equity. This one is equity.
Equity, okay.
So we do both equity and no, but in different shades and sizes.
Okay. Who do they need to know to be able to do these things?
No, they don't need to know anybody.
You don't need to have a godfather.
No,
you don't need to know minister
not at
or
all.
government official.
Just walk into BOI or go to our website and then we'll attend to you.
And very quickly, just like in 30 seconds, can you give us tips that you can provide to SMEs out there, to enable them become more sustainable? Because it's not just starting a business, it's the sustenance of that business that will enable them be more sustainable and be able to better attract capital, because nobody puts money in a dying business.
Correct. So first thing, they need to separate their personal finances from business finances. They need to try as much as possible put corporate structures in place right from beginning, because you anticipate that your business will grow, and as it grows, you don't want a case where you are now multi-million naira, multi-million-dollar business, and then you're not struggling to put in place structures. And then finally, collaboration is very important. Collaborate with those who can help the business to grow. I always tell people it is better for you, or which of these options will you choose, to own 100% of a 10 million naira business, or to own 10% of a 10 billion naira business. So it's your choice. You answer that question yourself, and you decide how to run your business.
Thank you very much. Oluwaseun Tubi has been my guest on the program this evening. Oluwaseun Tubi is, of course, the coordinator for the Bank of Industry's Startup and Innovation Program. He's also the Chief Information Security Officer for the bank. And this evening, we've been talking about how development financial institutions like the Bank of Industry can support small and medium enterprises. Oluwaseun, thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you very much, Captain.